Hi everyone, I'm super excited to host Saurabh Khemka, AI lead at Parspec. Thanks a lot, Saurabh, for being on the show.
Thank you, Mayur, for inviting me. Happy to interact.
Likewise. So, Saurabh, can you elaborate how a AI lead role at Parspec look like? What are the responsibilities?
Okay, so I'm heading AI team in Parspec from last 1.5 year, and we are in construction industry. Without going into details, I would say we are mostly focused on NLP side of it. We work with lot of documents. So essentially document processing, document understanding, document recommendations comes into the picture. And we utilize core NLP methods and we have extending into LLMs because LLM is something that has, advanced the field recently and is obviously amazing to work with. Working on LLMs, NLP. At the same time, we also focus on computer vision whenever necessary and core ML concepts. This is the major work that we do. Apart from it, I handle the entire team of AI and we collaborate across different stakeholders. How project planning, budgeting, everything comes into the picture that you can expect from heading a team or leading a team.
And I was looking at your career, you have done AI for a long time from recommendation systems to whatnot. So, if you can share three highlights of your career, what would those be?
Okay. So I started my ML journey in 2011, which was something not known at the time. So my first project in ML was getting, movements from electrical brain signal. And there I used neural networks and some bit of, let's say, linear classifiers, LDA kind of things. And this was quite early at the time. It was around 2011-12 journey. I was doing my master's and I was getting this opportunity to work on ML side of it, which was quite fascinating at that time. Second most important bit, I would say, when I came back to India in 2016, I started my journey in a retail advertisement industry. It was ATM systems, and that was amazing. Just because you are coming out of academia and someone is looking at you, right? You come out of academia, you are fresher and you don't know how people are going to interact or react, right? So I really appreciate the way it was taken, the leaders, and I was given a huge responsibility. At that time I worked on some of the very cool projects. The way Mintra recommends fashion items, right? You select an item, you get similar items. Those kind of things I worked around 2016 to 18 time frame. Also worked on low latency system for person identification using camera. It was pure research project and we were developing really good stuffs there. Third, and a major shift in the journey, or you can say third major highlight is my Walmart journey, right? So when I moved to Walmart, I really saw the scale where ML can be operate, right? Where ML can operate, what kind of impact you can make on customers. And I would again say, uh, having good manager, which actually impacted my entire journey and the way I operated. It was tremendous. I worked on multiple systems there, from recommendation systems to fraud to advertisement, almost all kind of domain I was touching, and it was really impactful.
And like with this generative AI, LLM era, I feel it has become more accessible to create AI apps. Earlier, you required a lot of training data, depending on the application one is building. So, have you seen the shift before Gen AI when you were building systems versus now? What has drastically changed?
So, okay, there's some good side of it and bad side of it. I will start with bad side so you can look into good side. So the bad side of it is you are not experimenting anymore. Okay. So you try to feed something into LLM, you look into the results and you are happy, okay, if it works out for you. But the core concept of research that came with data science, right? The science part of it has gone missing. Okay. Now, I will come to the good part of it. You can still utilize LLM for good things. Let's say you want to create some training data, you want to pass the documents and get some information out of it, and then use it to do some recommendations or build another model on top of it. This is where you can really shine. And so, like, it again depends on the use case. Let's say you are working for chatbot. This is where LLM will be really advantageous, right? But let's say you are working on a search engine where you need a really low latency system. you don't want to utilize LLM here. What you want to do, you can use LLM to, let's say, find product info, store it in some database, and then do a query on top of it. So your search engine is faster, but it is not utilizing LLM at at real time, right? You are using it in the background somewhere. So this is why you need to balance out, and you need to understand looking at LLM is good and it works in many cases, but at the same time, when you go for industrial use case, and I am really more specific about this, because when you go for industrial use case, you want to look into latency, deployment, cost, and all those things. And this is where you need to be careful. Okay, can you do LLM for every use case or not?
And Saurabh, how do you prepare for like this AGI era? For example, how do you even strategize which AI you should train or fine tune or which not? Let's say if you're doing construction drawing OCR, maybe OpenAI or other might develop way better OCR and then your efforts might go in vain. So,
Right. So say if you, even for this, right, you need to understand um, which LLMs are quite large. So if you talk about O1 preview, right, which has came recently, it might have trillions of parameter, right? And the cost is also high. Can you run it on real time? Is it feasible? This is where small LLMs comes into the picture, right? And which requires your own data, your own training. So you will be still using the backbone of LLM, but you will have your own data to train with, right? And this is where you will shine. I do understand OpenAI or other solutions will make your journey faster. So let's say it is easy for someone to copy me, but can he scale? That's the question, right? And scaling will not come easily unless you do some work in the background. Yeah, there might be industry, let's say you are working on chatbot, right? Then it might be difficult because someone can easily replace you with new models that has come out, right? But let's say you are working on, again, I am going back to the ground. You are working on search or recommendation where you need low latency systems. There you need to develop something. You just cannot use LLM for every use case. So what I want to say, LLMs are helping and they are bringing a major shift. So if you take my example, if I want to do coding right now, I will not do coding by myself for everything, right? I will still use Cursor, integrate with Sonnet or ChatGPT code writing. I remember writing 5,000 lines of code in 2 hours or 3 hours, which was a nightmare earlier, which used to take 7 days. This is where you actually want to utilize LLM. You want to increase your productivity, right? But depending on the use case, LLM might not suit you. So, Mike, short answer, LLM are great. They are going to replace a lot of things, but they are not going to replace human knowledge. That's what I think right now. And the small use case, the specific use case where you need to have your own models.
that's a great point. I would like to share my screen and maybe we could go do a bit deep dive on what are the different AI components in Parspec.
Okay.
So if you can walk through like how the whole platform works in a high level.
Mayur, sadly, I won't be able to go into the details of a lot of it, right? But what I can tell you, in the background, we use a lot of NLP, right? When you see Product Finder, we do a lot of custom models that we have been building over time, okay? And there's a lot of effort ongoing in the background. And, at the same time, some LLM use case, some computer vision use case, a mix of everything. But because of the proprietary nature and my current job, right? I won't be able to go into details of it. But if you talk about my previous experience, I would be happy to go into details.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, I was curious about uh, in what type of fine tunings you have to
Yeah.
do to
So,
make it work for the domain.
right. So obviously a lot of data has to be acquired, right? And this is where, our own proprietary models and everything comes into the picture. So we have been collecting a lot of data, manually curating it, and then we do some fine tuning. We do our custom model training as well from scratch. And this is why some of the accuracy numbers are quite good in our platform, right? And it's quite, it's easy to find the products, recommend the products around, Parspec. So, yeah, that would be my answer for this.
Yeah. And sort of apart from data, are there any challenges in developing and training such models for the AEC industry?
Yeah, so data and, so what kind of model are you going to use, and will it have direct impact? Like you need to look at the commercial license, and then you need to see how can you scale them or not, right? So let's say talk about taking a Mistral 7 billion parameter model. So it's not easy, right? You can train the model, you can fine tune, but how are you going to scale it? That's another question that you need to take into account while fine tuning and deploying such models.
So MLOps is a big
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
cost and decision making parameter. How when you deploy it at scale, and are you using 2 billion, 7 billion?
Right.
What are your thoughts on Llama?
Okay. Llama, I would say quite good. See, the way Meta has opened their models, I mean, it's a big shift in the paradigm. And we keep using these models in the background, and I have seen many people in the background as well. So I was in Meta events where they were actually talking about Llama 3.2, and then Llama 3.3 also came in. So the capabilities and everything that they are showing is quite good, right? If someone has data to train, they can really fine tune the models for their own use case. And maybe with a smaller model, they can get better accuracy, which will impact their journey, or deployment or production of the models in the background. So best part of it is is freely available. You can use it for commercial purpose, and the accuracy is quite good.
Do you have any hot takes on AI agents?
So we are not working actively with AI agents right now, so have less background there. But I think this is something many people are working with. So you can talk about resume writing and a chatbot and some other use cases. So talking to a customer care agent, right? All those are really good use cases of agentic AI, and this is going to shine, no doubt about it, because it is going to reduce a lot of human bias, and that's good.
So you come from non-architecture construction background and you were in fashion and e-commerce. And what was your biggest surprise learning about our industry?
For construction tech, you are talking about, right?
Yes.
So see, I am mostly looking to tech side of it. See, so when you work on tech side, you are just focusing on what kind of problem you are going to solve. And the problem in this industry is quite challenging, right? Because not many people are tackling it. It's a niche industry where you can expect low importance. Same goes for healthcare, or you talk about, let's say, finance. Finance is actually evolving, but you will still see there are not lot of effort ongoing there, right? You don't see a lot of people working in finance sector. Same goes for construction tech. So I don't see a lot of people working there. There are some startups that has come in the past and they are growing. But given the kind of problems, okay, and the complexity, I was quite intrigued and wanted to explore this area. And this is working out to be a great experience.
Amazing. Like it's very challenging to keep up to date with all the AI trends and they're like every week the new cutting edge and research. So what's your secret of keeping
Yeah,
up to date?
there is no secret, Mayur. Honestly, I don't get time to keep track of all the events or all the progress. But what you rely on is, your circle, your surroundings. So if everyone is reading something, they will inform you. You will come to know about it. So this is what I try to do. So have a good team, and they keep posting about new stuff, interacting about other things, and this is how I also, know about few things that I am expressing or exploring. Would love to get more time into research and, do something there. But with the nature of work that we are doing, it's sometimes quite difficult. And obviously, the field is quite evolving as well. Every day you see something new coming out, and you just don't have time to explore it.
If you were to pick three people in AI industry who are your role models or people whose research work you like the most, who would they be?
See, obviously, Jan Lichen, right? Everyone knows about him. My early journey started with Andrew NG courses and everything, right? He's definitely one of my biggest role model because I learned a lot of things from his lectures. Then I obviously look into, I'm forgetting the name, but there are some very good courses about OpenAI, sorry, LLMs, and I go through his implementations and everything, how it is working from scratch. And I
Andhra
keep
Karapati?
yes, right. I just forgot the name, but yeah, I really like his videos or GitHub repository because that gives a lot of knowledge about those things, and I think the repos are quite up to date as well. So which makes it easier to keep up with good things. So you are not um getting something. So what I want to say, there are so many things on the internet, and sometimes you don't get right information. But following these people gives you some good information around around the world, what's happening and how the field is progressing.
What are you excited about the most in 2025 for AI developments at Parspec?
I would say we would definitely like to expand, right? And if this can work out really well for us, this will be really exciting. And this is where I'm looking for.
We will do one rapid fire round
Mhm.
just to know what you're interested. Which travel city is in your bucket list?
Travel city, Japan. I mean, Tokyo, I would definitely like to explore.
Any book which made a big impact in your life?
So I would say there is a book, The Path to Millionaire. So it's just about how you manage your finances.
Nice. Your favorite movie?
Tare Jamin Par. Quite simple.
Any restaurant which like you'd like to visit often?
Yeah, so in Bangalore, there's a restaurant in Radisson Blu at Outer Ring Road, which is called Melange. We love to go there.
I think you already answered about the role model question. Which AI models, it could be NLP, computer vision, which like you find it like very foundational.
Linear regression,
What would your friends describe you in 3 words?
geek, or maybe, in IIT, they used to call me Ghisu. So that's
What would be your piece of advice to 18-year-old Saurabh?
yeah, if I can do the same thing, like don't take biotech. I mean, I had the option to choose other branch, so just go and take other branch.
I see. And what would be different?
I don't know. See, in the end, I ended up where I wanted to, but the journey was bit maybe difficult, so it might have been just easier. That's what I think. But you never know. This was the path chosen for me, and just worked out right. I'm just saying, okay, if this was possible, maybe, but it is quite possible I would not have ended up in this role or in this path.
If you were to teach a course in university, what topic would you?
I would love to go for ML foundations.
For a student who is interested in AI and construction, in a 6 months roadmap, what are the topics you recommend and what are the resources you recommend that student to learn?
So I would say read a lot about construction industry, how it works. First of all, right? You need to understand the industry itself, and then obviously work on see what kind of model you want to deploy. But start with the basic ones. If you are not worried about the foundations and other things, you can look into NLP and computer vision side of it.
Got it. Anything which we didn't cover in this interview, Saurabh, and you'd like to share on the ending note?
Yeah, I would say, might not be the best advice, but I see a lot of people coming out of, going into the college, and I want them to explore, the industry a lot. People are already doing it, and I think they are more aware about it than what I was doing. Okay. But I think this is the right path to go. You take your studies seriously, at the same time, explore the industry.
Amazing. It was awesome hosting you, Saurabh.